Everybody's emotions are high. Two of the great programs in college football. So much on the line.
I just got chills there. Seeing that Saturday on Fox, we've got one of the biggest games of the year. Michigan, Ohio State. Joel Klatt will call the game. He joins us now. But I will start with Skip. I'll do my best. Yeah. Thank you. I am looking forward to it.
Yes, I can't
These
wait.
are.
Shannon might actually watch a Michigan game for once.
You better watch, Shannon.
I'm watching when Ohio State have the ball.
That's a little harsh, but I'll take it. Okay, Skip, you have been a fan of Michigan. You've been hopeful. You've been optimistic from the very beginning, since the preseason. We could bring up that audio from the summer, but you've been excited about them. What is your early take on the game?
Obviously, I believe Michigan will win this game, but I believe before the season started, Michigan would win the national championship, and at that point, they were 9-point preseason underdogs at Ohio State.
Right.
Now they have opened as a 3.5-point favorite, and it has now been bet up to 5. That's a 14-point swing from the preseason, -9 +5. Really? It concerns me only because I have not loved the way Michigan has played defense the last 2 games at Rutgers and against Indiana. It scared me because they ran the gauntlet of their revenge tour, as Jenny well knows. Wisconsin 38-13, and at Michigan State 21-7, and then Penn State 42-7, and all of a sudden we got to play Rutgers and Indiana to get to Ohio State, and they lost their angry, suffocating edge on defense. It bothered me. They also lost Chase Winovich, who is the lightning rod of the defense. He's the energizer and the disruptor, flying high motor off the edge, play after play after play, and he took a cheap shot lick from Indiana, and I don't know his status. We've talked about it. I don't know. He indicated on Instagram that he's going to play, but I don't know that for a fact. And if he can't, that's a huge loss for just the energy of that defense. He's the leader of that defense. But right now, if I boil this game down, it's quarterback versus quarterback, and I will take Shea Patterson over Dwayne Haskins because Jim Harbaugh, I told you this before the season, finally has a quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be a big, great NFL quarterback, but he's a really good college football player. He is a playmaker. He plays with poise and savvy and guts, and he can hurt you, sneaky hurt you with his legs as well as his arm. Doesn't have a big arm, but he's got an accurate arm, and he'll make big clutch throws in big moments. So I just like the way they play football. It's a veteran team. It's a senior-laden team with a chip on its shoulder pads. And I believe they've been spoiling for this game for a year now, and they want to go to Columbus and sort of right the wrongs that have happened there since 2000. And I think Jim Harbaugh finally has the quarterback and the defense to do it. And the defense still leads the nation in yards allowed.
They do, and that defense is incredible. And you're right, they haven't played up to their standards maybe in the last couple of weeks, and maybe that's a look ahead towards the game against Ohio State. But I will tell you this Michigan defense has not seen a quarterback or an offense anywhere near the caliber of what Ohio State is going to bring into this game.
I'll buy that.
Dwayne Haskins is playing at a remarkably high level, and candidly, he should get more conversation in the Heisman Trophy because he's doing exactly what Kyler Murray is doing for Oklahoma, which is carrying a team with a bad defense to a 10-1 record and into a position where they're in a win-and-in game in Thanksgiving to win their division and go to the Big Ten championship. He was brilliant last week. Dwayne Haskins was.
I give
brilliant.
You that.
It was
he needed to be.
He needed to be.
So was Dobbins.
It was his fourth 400-yard game. Fourth 400-yard game passing. He also ran for over 50 yards. And what Urban Meyer has to be excited about, he finally got a physical running presence out of Dwayne Haskins, lowering his shoulder a couple of times, running for multiple touchdowns. If Michigan's defense doesn't play their best, Ohio State's going to put up a lot of points because that offense is potent. They figured out the run game. J.K. Dobbins over 200 yards last week against Maryland. They ran for over 100 yards just in the second half against Michigan State, Skip. And Michigan State, at that point, had the #1 rush defense in the country. So I would actually say that Ohio State's offense is more tested as the #2 overall total offense in the country than the #1 defense of Michigan because Michigan has not seen what Ohio State will bring to this table. Not at all. I'm not saying that Ohio State is going to win, but being at home and having that offense, I think it's going to be a much closer game than a lot of people are expecting. People think Michigan's just going to go out there and blow them out. because Urban's been grabbing his head on the sideline and the defense has been giving up big plays. This is going to be a one-possession game late, and somebody's going to have to make a play. And the guy who's made more plays in this game than anybody the entire season is number 7 in a red jersey. That's Dwayne Haskins. So if you're looking for an edge, it's that quarterback right there.
Joel's kind of leaning scarlet.
Not a lean.
Great,
I'm just telling you
leaning.
that I've heard so much leading into this, like, you think Ohio State has a chance? I'm like, chance? What are you talking about? Michigan hasn't won in the shoe since 2000.
2000.
And I think the quarterbacks that's played the best over the course of the season is the one for Ohio State.
Okay.
So, I think this is going to be a tight ball game.
Allow me to say Shannon Sharp is disqualified from this discussion because he has nothing but hate for khaki pants Jim Harbaugh. Am I right
You're going to go
about
with the khaki bands.
Right?
You know what I need? I need khaki pants to go down.
Well, you
That's where it comes from, right?
these.
I need Urban Meyer to have an iron on the sideline and crease those khaki pants.
Yeah.
Come on, Ohio State. Now, I don't really root for anybody in the Big Ten.
No, you don't.
But I need khaki pants to feel take this L because I'm tired of you. Because you know what, Skip? I don't dislike khaki pants. But it's you when you talk about, oh, he's better than Nick Saban. That's where y'all
He
get.
is.
This is where it goes.
Easy.
Wait a second. Jim Harbaugh can actually coach pro football as opposed to.
Now we talking about college.
Yeah.
The greatest
Coaching. Overall coaching, I'll take khaki pants.
The greatest college football coach. Since they've been, how long have they been playing? They've been playing college football for like at least 130 years.
Ever.
He resides in Tuscaloosa.
There's this guy named Bud Wilkinson in Norman, Oklahoma.
He ain't
Bud was all right.
The two best coaches happen to coach at the same university. Coach Bryant and Coach Saban. So, but I need Ohio State. Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
I need you to go ahead and put 50 on them. They going down, Skip. Can I get some due on that?
Can I get due
By the
on
way,
50 on that defense?
He might have to. He might have to. That Ohio State defense is playing some of the worst defense I've seen them play in the last couple of
But
years.
here's the thing. What can he throw the ball? Because Maryland got out on Ohio State by throwing the football. That guy played written. Now, they ran the ball. Dude had almost 300 yards rushing at 298. Skip Bayless. Can I get some due?
On what?
Ohio State.
Just straight up?
Straight up.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to put my due where my mouth is.
Yeah, that's
right?
No, I need those 4 points.
I usually put due in my mouth. Now I'm putting it where my mouth is.
I need those 4 points. I need those 4 points.
Why do I want? No. Heck no. You just said you want to. I said straight up and you said yes.
Okay, you know what?
You
Straight
accepted it.
Straight up.
You
Come on, Urban.
Up.
You can't welch on these bets.
Come on, Urban.
I'm really the other part of this that I'm really excited to see, and you touched on it, is Shea Patterson, because Shea is actually, I think, the biggest story in the game. You touched on the 15-point swing from the preseason till now in terms of the betting line between Michigan and Ohio State. Well, guess what? Shea Patterson's the only difference for that offense. And they're averaging about 15 more points per game. I mean, he is the biggest difference in this by far of either of these two teams. And if he's able to come in here as a transfer and win this game, I think it's going to be the most successful transfer ever, even over Russell Wilson, who did not, win a national championship or play in the playoff or anything. He did a great job at Wisconsin.
He went to the Rose Bowl,
But if Patterson wins, this will be considered the most successful transfer in history of college football.
Ooh, I like that.
Look at that belt khaki pants got on.
Last thing I want to say, there's one huge X factor playing for the Michigan defense who has been vacant for the last couple, 3 weeks, although he's tried to play, and that's Rashawn Gary.
3.
He is going to be a top 5 pick, and he needs to play like a top 5 because when he gets motivated, he can wreck an offense, and he could come up huge in this game, especially if Chase Winovich can't go.
Had he gone to Alabama, he'd been the number 1 pick.
You know what?
I would love to see Alabama play in the elements, you know? Like, hey, how about we play someone other than the Citadel?
Yeah, how
in
about that?
November.
What about LSU?
Huh?
Can we interest you and beat the LSU?
The Citadel?
Not quite the same.
Wait, the Citadel?
What about Mississippi State?
Time out.
Weather-wise, the elements.
The LSU offense is so bad, Shannon.
They beat Georgia. Where's Georgia ranked?
I mean, Georgia turned the ball over 4 points.
Hey, we gonna see all that. We gonna put all this stuff. The Alabama invitation is live and well. Who would you like for us to invite?
Halftime score. The Citadel 10, Alabama 10.
Right.
That
And
is
then
true.
Hold on. And then Tua did what?
I don't know.
He better against the
I
Citadel.
knew you'd bring Tua into this
I
conversation.
tell you what, Citadel will beat Rutgers.
The Citadel lost.
Citadel will beat Rutgers.
Okay.
Wait. The Citadel
That's a lie.
lost to Towson 44-27. You like that?
They lost us 50-7.
Okay, enough Tua for now. But watch Saturday. I got to do on
watch
this game.
Ohio State.
Joel, thank you for being
You
here.
bet.
We are looking
Happy
forward to
Thanksgiving, everybody.
this
Same to
one.
you.
Is Rob Gronkowski no longer a great player? There's something going on. We'll discuss next.